and Nancy. While Mitch and Paul was sitting right there in the Oval Office. And of course, everyone knows by now, the president made a deal with the Democrats that really kind of blindsided, rolled over, surprised, shocked the GOP. Many Republican lawmakers and many conservatives not happy with this. Now, the substance of it is typical sort of Beltway compromise stuff. 3-month extension of the debt ceiling tied to immediate aid for the victims of Hurricane Harvey and probably Hurricane Irma to follow. The GOP had wanted a 1.5 or even a 6-month extension. And it does provide some tactical advantages to the Democrats because now a lot of stuff will be expiring at the end of the year. They'll have to do another debt ceiling deal. Maybe the Democrats hope they can cut a deal with the president on legalizing the Dreamers program and lots of other things. But more important, I think, and what's been missed in the coverage, is the fact that this is now an independent president. And I've said, you've heard me say this before, Donald Trump is not just not an orthodox Republican. He's not much of a Republican at all. That's one of the reasons he won the presidency. He was an outsider, took on the GOP establishment, beat the GOP establishment, and appealed for the votes of Democrats by taking some moderate positions in the campaign. Now, up until now, he's governed as sort of a party line Republican. He tried to work almost exclusively with the Republicans to repeal and replace Obamacare, to do other things, and he's got basically squat to show for it other than a Supreme Court justice. So Trump may have been spur of the moment. This might be a one-time only deal, but decided that if he could get some Democratic votes, he could push the Republicans into doing what he wants. Also, kind of a moment to come together at the time when the U.S. is just being battered by these hurricanes. And in truth, McConnell and Ryan are putting the best face on it, but they are not happy. And the Democrats are very happy. So to some folks on the right, Breitbart had a headline saying, "Meet the swamp," and other conservatives feeling like the Trump sold out conservative principles. This was a betrayal of the GOP. But if you look at it as a pragmatic president who likes to make deals, perhaps sending a signal that there could be more deals to come, then it makes a bit of sense. If the president, like Ronald Reagan, who dealt with a Democratic Congress, can get some Democratic votes on things like infrastructure, on things like tax cuts, and maybe even on a bigger immigration deal that would include legalizing the Dreamers program, then he would have a lot of clout. Now, that would make the House Freedom Caucus unhappy and other conservative members unhappy, but so far he's got to reason, and I think there's been a lot of tension, obviously, in his relationship, particularly with Mitch McConnell, that he's not getting much now, so he's got to find another way to do this. Now, in a couple of months, this could all just be a footnote, and it may not be a big strategic change on the part of the president, but I think it's been reported that he likes the positive coverage he's getting to this because he finally put a win on the board, even though it's just a 3-month deal. So I think it's kind of an important moment in terms of the president realizing that he can go broader, that he can put together a coalition and get some things through Congress. Now, that will depend in part on how much the Democrats are willing to come toward him. But there's been a real change of tone in the last 24 hours after announcing that the Dreamers program will end in 6 months, having Jeff Sessions make the announcement. Now the president's saying, you have nothing to worry about, Dreamers. I love these people. Congress should do something. So it may be that he's steering a little bit more toward the center, and conservatives may like that, but if